You can go ahead, Elizabeth.
Okay.
Sorry.
Right. Thank you, Daniel. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Healthy Hearts session. It's really, really cold here in the East Midlands, and I can see that Daniel has his cup of tea. She kind of had a hot water bottle, so I'm sure we are all dealing with some kind of cold. Let's try and keep warm. I have a cold already. If you don't have a cold, please try and keep warm so you don't catch a cold. Now, today we have a special session. It's December, so it's Christmas, festive season. We in the UK have a traditional Christmas meal. Usually it's roast turkey, it's roast potatoes, it's parsnips, red cabbage, among others. I'm sure that in the United States, they might also have their own Christmas meal. But everything we do here is, we want to tailor it to our culture. We are Africans, we are Caribbean people. How can we have a culturally tailored Christmas? This is what we want to talk about today. And to lead the discussion is a dietitian called Ashley, coming all the way from the United States. I saw her in social media. I saw the amazing work she's doing, touching so many lives, helping Black people to make healthier choices. So I invited her to come and lead us in today's discussion. I'm going to give her the chance to introduce herself because I didn't ask for her bio, and then I'll let her lead the discussion for how we can have a culturally themed Christmas, healthy one as well. So please do send your questions. Don't wait till the end. Drop them in the chat box. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, as always, please drop your questions and we will address these questions as we go along. So Ashley, we have 1 hour for the talk and questions and discussions all together. So over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the introduction, and thank you for having me here. I typically don't like to tell people the weather where I am because I am in Miami, Florida. I'll share it. It's 85 degrees. So for us, it's always warm. We're actually the only place in the United States that's like this right now. Everywhere else is
jealous. I'm jealous. You shouldn't have
I know. I usually have on, short sleeves when I'm presenting and people are looking at me crazy, but that's why in Miami, it never gets below 60 for the most part. So this is our norm. So if you guys ever visit, it's always leave your winter clothes at home. Okay, so today we're going to talk about culture-focused nutrition. And just to give you a background, I'm from Liberty City, which is a lower socioeconomic, so a lower income area in Florida, in the United States. And pretty much growing up in Liberty City, we didn't have a lot of access to grocery stores and healthy foods. So that kind of shapes the health of the people in that community. So for me growing up, that's a picture of my family. I'm the little girl, the baby of the family with the bow sitting down. And those are my two parents up top. So growing up, both of my parents had diabetes. So we're from Trinidad with roots in Bahamas, growing up in the United States, but both of my parents had diabetes. And that was primarily because of the type of foods that we were eating. So we were eating, our cultural foods and just not being as active. And then I started to think maybe it's our foods that are the problem. But I realized it was us not knowing how to eat our foods. So with that being said, you can keep eating foods from your culture. That's the big message for today. Keep cultural foods on your plate, but let's just learn more about our foods. Let's learn how to balance these foods out so that way we can be healthier. So a little bit of more background about me is I'm a registered dietitian. We started Eatwell Exchange, which is a 501c3, so it's a registered nonprofit here. And we teach people how to eat foods from their culture in a healthier way. And because here in the United States, only 2% of dietitians are Black. So when we talk about foods and recommendations, it's rare that you find foods from our culture that are talked about or that are recommended. So we focus on sustainable changes. So finding ways that you can make changes today that last forever. So that way we have healthy generations coming after us. And at this time, we have taught over 20,000 people. So it's just two of us, the two that you see in that picture. And we've taught 20,000 people since we were founded in 2017, how they can use their cultural foods. So we work with people in the community, health professionals. We also work with community organizations, nonprofits, colleges, and just teach everyone how they can eat their cultural foods in a healthier way. And also, I want this to be a very engaging conversation. So you're going to notice that throughout this presentation, I'm going to ask for your participation. If I ask you a question, please drop it in the chat, or if it's in the Facebook, please share those answers with me, because I want you to take something from this. I don't want to just talk to you and tell you the information. I want you to be able to apply it to your everyday life. So please feel free to chime in whenever the time arises. So just a little bit more about our programs. We have 3 different areas. So one area is gardening. So just to give you a quick overview of Eatwell Exchange, we teach communities how to grow their own foods. So we do this virtually and in person. So that's something you all can join in today as well. So all you have to do is subscribe to our website, which is eatwellexchange.org. And we do a virtual class where we teach you how to grow your own foods at home in your windowsill or in a crate, whatever you have. So this is something that started during the pandemic because people couldn't go out and garden like they used to, or people just couldn't really go outside that much. So we did start a garden actually in Grand Guave, Haiti. And that started from a mission trip that we went over there and noticed the issue with access. And we also have worked with community gardens throughout the US and also in Haiti as well. We do have culinary classes. And again, this is something you all can participate in as well. Just like I'm presenting to you virtually, we do cooking classes virtually. So that's where we tell you all the ingredients to get. We share a Zoom like this, and then we cook together. And that way we show you how you can use different herbs and spices to eat a little bit healthier. We also started a virtual diabetes program, and we did actually have somebody from the UK in that program. And we taught them how they can eat healthy using foods from our culture and how to prevent diabetes while still maintaining our cultural foods. So here's some things we're going to talk about today: social and environmental barriers and how it affects our eating. We're going to talk about our cultures. And I'm sure people on this call are all from different places. So we're going to tap into that and just talk about our pride for our culture and also how we can still eat our foods and prevent medical conditions. We're also going to talk about the field of nutrition. And I know that where you are, it's similar, where there's not a lot of diversity when it comes to registered dietitians and some healthcare professionals. And also just learning how we can communicate and talk about our foods in a way that's helpful for everyone. All right. So I know I said I want you all to participate. Well, this is one of those moments. Tell me, what's your favorite holiday food? And I'll share 2 of mine. Mm-hmm. So one of mine. Oh, sorry. Did somebody say something?
No. I was just unmuting to get people to type in the chat box if they wanted.
Yes. Thank you. So one of my favorites is mac and cheese. And that's just, typical Southern United States. We just love our mac and cheese. But for me, I like it because that's something my mom will cook. She will make mac and cheese every Thanksgiving, every Christmas. And it was like the smell of the mac and cheese was just like one of those dishes that just made me feel like it's the holidays. So whenever I have mac and cheese, it reminds me of my mom because it's something that we would all cook together. Another favorite is black cake, just because as I mentioned, my family's from Trinidad. So my dad will always make the traditional black cake for Christmas time.
Wow. Let me read some responses to you. So Elizabeth says Christmas turkey and gravy. Then Michelle says rice and peas. Then Dorcas says jollof rice and chicken.
Oh, yes. I want to say jollof rice.
Someone was also going to say jollof rice. I think I would also go for jollof rice.
Yeah,
jollof rice is winning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
those are good. And I know it's 7 p.m. where you are, so it's dinner time. So hopefully you all ate already. If not, you're going to be hungry after all these food. Fried rice, good.
Yeah, fried rice too. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Christine, please unmute yourself and go ahead. Let me ask to unmute. Yes, I think you should be able to unmute now. No? Shekinah, are you able to unmute her? Yes, you're on mute now. Please,
yeah, jollof rice.
Okay.
And turkey.
And turkey. Right. Thank you.
Yes.
And someone says all of the above.
Yes. So I know jollof rice is different depending on where you are. So who makes the best jollof?
It's the Ghanaian one.
Nigerians.
Ghanaian all
Simple
the
as
way.
that. Nigerians.
Ghanaian one.
Oh,
And by virtue of me
this
being
one,
the
this
host
one will
on the
cause World War
show,
II. It's clearly Nigerians, but we'll leave
Daniel,
it
I'm
at
the
that.
facilitator, and I'm telling you, it's Ghanaian jollof. Ghanaian jollof.
She's about to start muting people. I always like to hear that because every time I ask, everyone is so certain that theirs is the best. Yes. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for sharing your favorite holiday foods with me. So I want to know, when you think about those foods, do you think about, is it a cheat meal as far as like, is this something that you should just have this one time, but you shouldn't eat every day? Or do you feel like it's something that's good and healthy and that can help you, get all the nutrients you need? How do you think about your cultural foods?
Did you mean cultural food or holiday foods?
Both.
Both.
So holiday foods and foods from your culture. Well, we can do holidays.
Holiday foods, because
Yes.
sometimes I speak for the community, because I know growing up, holiday food was something that had to be special, so expensive, special, and all of that. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so Elizabeth says eat every day. Holiday food should be something you can eat every day. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like pounded yam and a goosey soup.
A goosey soup.
Ooh. I wish I could have that every day.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so when we think about those foods, a lot of times I know, like you mentioned, it's like a holiday food, so it's not something that you have every single day, but I want you to know that there's a lot of benefits for those different foods that you named. Like there's lots of minerals that you can get. And when we think about healthy food, it does not have to be a perfect food, because to me, I don't see any food as perfect or not perfect. What we want to focus on is nutrients. So that's what vitamins and minerals are we getting from these foods that are going to help make us strong, that are going to help keep us healthy, and they're going to help us do our day-to-day activity. So yes, I see Michelle putting here not to have too much fried food. And I agree with that. We don't want to eat fried foods every single day. I'm not that dietitian to eat whatever you want, but you shouldn't feel bad when you eat those foods. So we want to be able to get nutritional value from food without assigning guilt to those foods. So yes, so some of these holiday foods we have, and you don't eat them every day, but just so you know, there are nutrients. You're still cooking foods with, just cooking with onions and peppers alone is going to give you vitamin C. It's going to give you some more nutrients than you typically would have without those two. So does anybody, what do you call this? Does anybody know the name of that? The picture?
So I don't know the name in English, but in my language, it depends on what's in there. Mm-hmm. So if what's in there is corn and granuts, in my local dialect, it's called sabo.
Okay.
I don't know about others.
Does anybody else know the name?
You're mute. You're mute again.
Mm-hmm.
I think we call it adun.
Adun. And what's in it? What's in there?
It's made with corn.
Corn.
Yeah, grounded with, they mix it with palm oil.
Right. Okay.
Right. And I see someone else put a name in there too.
Elizabeth
says
Bean paste.
Bean paste. 15 doesn't seem to agree with it.
Yes. In Trinidad, they call it pasteles.
Mm.
And same thing, same corn. Okay. And then a lot of other people also call it tamales in Latin America. So pretty much the reason why I brought that up, because it's always interesting to me that throughout the United States and throughout the world, we're eating the same foods, but we're calling them different things. Yes. So that it sometimes creates a barrier, because when you talk about your foods and you tell me, and I'm like, no, I never had that before, but it's because we're calling it different names. So sometimes even, where you are, always describe foods that you're eating and tell stories about your food. I remember, having the big grape leaves and then having them, boiled and broken down and everything like that to make this dish. So always talk about your foods and explain them to other people, because sometimes we don't know about other cultures and their foods because we don't talk about it enough. We don't realize how similar we all are. So yes, I would just put that picture there so everyone can share the different names, and that way we can see how we're eating the same things, but calling it by something else. So the foods we eat, of course, we want them to have nutritional value, but also we have to remember that our foods tell a story. Like I mentioned with the mac and cheese with my mom, it's reminding me of a pleasant time at home of when I was younger. And also we have to remind ourselves that our foods are a part of us. So if I tell you to never eat your holiday foods anymore, that's taking a part away from you that you still need to be a part of your culture and to be a part of who you are as a person. And then another thing we have to ask ourselves is, what's wrong with our foods? And I know growing up, I always just felt like the foods that we were eating just were not good enough. Like, especially here, in America, it's like you have to eat the Americanized foods or your foods are considered bad. So that's not the case. You can eat foods from your culture. You can eat your holiday foods and still have a healthy diet. And ask yourself why you want to replace these foods. So if you ever feel like you want to swap out your jollof rice for white rice, why are you doing that? I wouldn't recommend, but why are you doing that? And sometimes we're doing it because we think that something else is healthier, when in actuality, you can still get fiber, protein, and everything from the rice that you're currently having. All right, so I want you to think about this. When you search for a healthy recipe on the internet, what appears? And you can do this right now, actually. You can type in or Google healthy recipes and tell me what comes up for you. And I also know that with Google, your region is also going to show you foods that may be closer to your region. So I'm curious to know what comes up when you type in healthy foods. And let me know in the chat if something comes up for you.
Anyone wants to share their thoughts? What comes up when you Google healthy foods? Pasta, salads.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the responses in the chat box.
Okay.
Soups, yeah.
Okay.
I see plant-based ready meals.
Mm-hmm. Chicken.
Yeah, chicken.
Well, I did share my search results. So you can see, fruit bowls, carb-free. Okay, that came up for me too.
Yeah.
Fruit bowls. Okay. So do any of those foods remind you of your holiday foods? Kind of not really.
Nope.
I was waiting for that answer.
Not at all.
Not at all.
No.
So now what happens? Think about your mindset. And this is what I want you to realize, that we're not thinking our foods are bad just because things are happening that make us feel like our foods are not good enough. So if I search healthy recipes, this is literally the search that I got. So you see at the top, it says weight loss. A lot of times they do keto here, like the keto diet and different things like that. And for the most part, none of these foods are from my culture. So now it makes me feel like if I want to eat healthy, I have to eat those foods. And so now we have to retrain ourselves and ask ourselves, how is it possible to still be healthy and not eat only what they have in these pictures? So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to redefine, number one, what is a healthy food? And then also we're going to look through our foods and find ways that you can make those foods to be a complete balanced diet for you. So thank you all for your participation, because it's so important to me for you to see that when you just search for something healthy, it's very rare that you find something from your culture. So we started a challenge on Instagram. So if you're not following us, head over to our page. It's Eatwell Exchange. And the challenge is called Our Foods Are Healthy. So the reason why we started this is because if you see that plate on the right with the boniata, boiled green banana, pear, roasted chicken, and callaloo, we posted that plate one day on our social media, and someone made a comment about the chicken. No, it was originally the plate there was a fried dumpling that was on a plate. And somebody was very upset because they said that we're dietitians. So why are you posting fried food on your Instagram? And we had to explain to them that there's so much benefits on that plate. Callaloo is a green leafy vegetable. I know that different places call callaloo different things, but still it's a green leafy vegetable, and it is full of iron, it's full of protein. So why not have that on our plate instead of just looking at one thing and saying that a plate is or is not good? So what we started is we highlight foods from all around the world. So this is something that you all can participate in. All you have to do is send us a picture of your plate and we go through it and we put all the different benefits. So are any of these foods familiar to you guys? Yes. So we talk about the different foods, and we also show how like the middle plate is like holiday food for us pretty much, which would be fried fish, cornbread, black eyed peas, tomatoes, and collard greens. So that's a typical New Year's Eve plate where that's something you'll eat because everything has a reason behind it. Like you eat the collard greens because green vegetables are supposed to help you have money the next year. Black eyed peas are supposed to give you good luck. And the fish, I think, is prosperity. You know, everything has like their meaning behind it. But for us, that's like one of those cultural staples. So if you look at that plate and say, oh, it has fried fish, don't eat it. In actuality, you're getting more benefits if you just eat that plate compared to eating something else just because it's not fried. So yes, so the point of the challenge is to show that foods have benefits, and also that by keeping our cultural foods on our plate, we're maintaining our identity, but also we are getting nutrients from our foods as well. So let's talk a little bit about the African diaspora. So pretty much this describes the mass dispersion of people from Africa during the transatlantic slave trade. So this dispersion, it caused millions of people from West and Central Africa to be displaced to the Americas and the Caribbean, and also other places as well, of course. So the reason why we talk about this is because a lot of times, like I mentioned with the pastels, that everyone is eating the same foods, but we're calling them different names. Even jollof rice, when it's eaten in different parts of Latin America, they call it arroz con grandules, but pretty much it's the same thing. So again, it's us eating the same foods, but because we're in different regions, we're calling it different names. So let's take a look at this map. And I like to look at this because sometimes when people don't realize all the diversity within Africa as you're in different regions, how different foods are consumed. So this shows you how there's different foods consumed all throughout the continent of Africa. And then you'll notice that other places throughout, you know, the United States, the UK, we're all eating those same foods, but just not realizing the origins of those foods. So I see like the goat stew over there. And I remember that's something that is very popular in Trinidad as well. And then also I see the jollof rice. I'm not going to point at which region is labeled to jollof rice because I don't want any problems. But also, you know, we have couscous, we have other foods like that, and fufu. So it's important to see like how these foods are represented throughout Africa. And then now as we go through different places, you're going to see how these same foods that you see on this map are also represented in other places as well. So I won't go through each one, but what's important for you to be able to do is look at your foods and say, what is a starch? What is a vegetable? What is a protein? So just think about different foods you're eating and ask yourself, out of those foods, what's a starch? So if you're in Ethiopia and you have injera, that is, you know, a flatbread. So that's a starch. It's very high in iron, very healthy, but it's a starch. So that way, you know, when it comes to building your plate, how much should be starch, how much should be vegetables, and how much should be protein. So again, learning your different proteins and thinking about the different protein sources you have, whether it's seafood, whether it's lean meat, whether it's chickpeas or beans, lentils, those are all different sources of protein. So just depending on the region that you're from, you're going to have different starches, vegetables, and protein, but you still should be able to build a healthy plate with those foods. And even during the holiday, you want to make sure, and I'll show you how to build a healthy plate, but be able to ask yourself when you go to make your plate, what is a starch, what is a vegetable, and what is a protein? So can I have somebody jump in and tell me a typical starch from where they're from? Or one of your favorite holiday starches?
Do we have a volunteer? Typical starch. So we have rice. Victoria says rice.
Right, perfect. Yam, cassava, yes.
And cassava, yep.
Okay, I see Jollof again. I'm not going to say which flag is next to it.
We will pretend we haven't seen that flag.
Yes.
Green plantain, yeah.
Fonio, okay, good. And fonio now is like one of those starches that have become like a thing here in the US where everyone's just found out about it and they're going crazy about it because of all the nutrients that is inside fonio. So that's a good starch to have too. And potatoes, rice and peas, good. All right. So yes, you all are getting it. So those are all of our starches. And now let's do vegetables next. What are some vegetables that you typically have during the holiday? So veggies, I know it takes you some time to type. Okay, spinach. Okay, what other vegetables? Okay, everyone likes spinach. And spinach is a powerhouse. Spinach is a green leafy vegetable. So again, it has a lot of vitamin K, which is good for your blood. Corn, asparagus, very good. Broccoli, cauliflower, good. And broccoli is actually a good source of vitamin C too. So I know colds are coming around as the weather drops. So something like broccoli is great. Callaloo is amazing. Spinach, all those green veggies are great to help protect our immune system as well.
And actually, I know some of us too are not having vegetables. I know for a fact some of us are not having it. Are not having vegetables.
No, so typically it's the starch and the protein. Oh, saltfish and callaloo with fried dumpling for breakfast. Good. That sounds amazing. Yes. And that's similar to something that we would have here too. A lot of people from Trinidad and Jamaica will typically have ackee, saltfish, and callaloo for breakfast with the fried dumpling. So yes. And last up, we have protein. So what are some different proteins that you're typically having during the holiday?
Proteins.
Well, I see we already have saltfish. Okay. Eggs, chicken, good.
Mutton, yep.
Mutton, okay.
Salmon.
Good. Okay. And this is good. The reason why I'm having you think about this is because a lot of times we don't think about our foods in these categories. So then when it's hard for us to build a healthy plate if we don't know what our starches are. We don't think about the vegetables we have and we don't think about the protein. So what you're doing right now is you're kind of building a toolbox for yourself. Okay, sea bass, suya, chicken. Okay. So right now you're building a toolbox where you're asking yourself, these are the starches I have to choose from. Here's the vegetables I have to choose from. Here's the protein. So that means if you look down at your plate and you just see starches and protein, you have to think, what are the vegetables that I like that I can put on this plate as well? So you want to make sure your plate is balanced and that you have your carbs, your veggies, and also your proteins. Was that helpful for some of you to like just think about it that way? Okay, good. So now let's get some visuals. And this is also other foods as well. So staying the starches, South America, other parts of the US, and French and Spanish cultures, the different veggies and proteins that are represented. So good. All right, so now we're going to think about those starches, the proteins and vegetables, and think about how we can put them on a plate. So a quarter of your plate should be starches, a quarter of your plate should be proteins, and half should be vegetables. So I know we already mentioned that sometimes we may not have any vegetables on a plate. And I can tell you from me growing up, that happened as well. Sometimes you have rice, you have meat, and then you have like a gravy or sauce and some beans, but you really don't have vegetables represented on your plate.
Ashley, let me read a comment to you. Have vegetables, yes. Very difficult.
Yes, it can be. And like I said, for me growing up, that was not the norm. Yeah. Half the plate of rice or starch or a roti or something like that would be the norm, not vegetables.
Yeah.
So what I challenge you to do right now, if you don't have any vegetables, at least put one vegetable on your plate. Start small. So I know we mentioned a lot of different vegetables. So we talked about callaloo, we talked about spinach, cauliflower, broccoli. Think about those different veggies and think about what foods you can pair those with. Avocado or pear, depending on which name you call it. That can also be a vegetable as well that could be on your plate. Peppers, onions, those are easy ones. So if you cook foods and you marinate your meat and you put peppers and onions, already you're increasing your vegetables. So just keep asking yourself, how can I find ways to add more vegetables to my plate? And yes, it can be difficult. So if half is too much, just at least put something. And another thing that I do when I work with children is I always say to make sure you have color on your plate, because sometimes that reminds you when you look down, if you don't see color, more than likely you don't have any vegetables. So we want more colors on our plate. So this is our holiday guide, okay? We're not saying what you can or cannot eat for the holidays, but we're saying at least look down at your plate. Make sure you have some colors. If you have 5 colors, that's great. But if, as long as you have at least 3 or 4, then you know that you have some vegetables on your plate. So can we all do this? I see some head nods. Very good. So here's also some more plates from around the world. We have from Barbados, Jamaica, Honduras, Zimbabwe, Haiti. And pretty much with these different plates, it's showing you how food from around the world can be represented. I know somebody mentioned saltfish earlier. So we see the saltfish, the plantains, breadfruit, avocado. So it's showing you how you can get different veggies from where you're from. Okra is another great vegetable. Okra, does anybody here like okra? You can wave or put in the chat. Okra is so good for you. And okra actually helps naturally bring down insulin. So that means, it helps bring down glucose. So it helps your body release insulin. So this is good if anybody has diabetes or is pre-diabetic, putting okra into your diet can help. So I'm not saying to stop taking medication and just eat okra after you eat food, but I'm saying that if we incorporate more foods like okra into our diet, that can also benefit us. And a lot of times we don't learn that about our cultural foods, the benefits that it has. So taking a look at these pictures, you can see how it's possible to add different vegetables onto your plate, and also how to make sure that you have your protein, you have your starch, but then we're putting a lot of vegetables too. So are any of these plates perfect? Again, we're not going to say perfect or not perfect, but we're just looking to see if we have vegetables and everything is represented on this plate. So hopefully this gives you some inspiration of how you can take foods that you like and put them on a plate. So that way you can eat your favorite foods and still get all the vitamins and minerals that you need as well. This is another guide that I like to use, your hands, because sometimes we talk about foods and cups and grams, and that gets a little difficult because we don't know how to measure that if we're out. If you go to somebody's house for a dinner or for a potluck, you don't know how much a cup of rice is. But what I recommend you do is use your hands. So looking at your hand right now, a half a cup will be about this much rice, a palm of rice. So think about that. If someone scoops rice into your palm, how much rice would it be? If you look down at your plate and it's more rice than you can fit into a palm, then you're having more than half a cup. So I'm not saying that you have to only have that amount, but at least now you're able to measure and see, am I eating too much or too little of something? And that goes for beans too. You should have about a palm of beans. For chicken, the same thing. 3 ounces of chicken, fish, or beef is about a serving. So again, a palm. So when you think about it, your palms are pretty much the same thing as the quarter of the plate. It just works out, whatever works out better for you to see it. Fruits and vegetables will be about a fist. So more than a palm, but just a big fist. And if you have big or little hands, it kind of varies. But for the most part, a fist will be how much veggies you should have. So I recommend to have 2 fists. So that way you have the 2 servings, like we talked about, half of your plate. When it comes to snacks and chips, pretzels, different things like that. You can have about an open hand. So this will be about a serving for different snacks. Oils, fats, butter, about a fingertip. So I'm not saying that when you cook, you can only use a fingertip, but just know that that's one serving. So if you drizzle oil all over the pan, think about how much servings of fat you're getting. So just acknowledge it and learn how much you're doing, so that way you can come down a little bit if you need to. So is this helpful to be able to see that visually and know that if somebody gives you a piece of salmon and if it's about the size of your palm, that's one serving. But if the salmon goes all the way across the plate, you're probably eating 2 servings of protein, not just 1. So again, eat half of it. If you're still hungry, eat some more, but at least know what's a serving, what's 2 servings, so that way you know how much you're eating. Because sometimes we've been raised to eat more than we're supposed to. Whatever's on your plate is what you should eat. Or I know for us growing up, it was considered rude if you went to somebody's house and they gave you food and you didn't eat it all. But it's important to remind yourself and know how much a serving is. And when you go to a dinner and you're making your own plate, if the food's in the middle of the table, know how much to put on your plate. And know what a protein is, know what a fat is, know what a carb is. And that way you'll know how much to put on your plate. And let's talk about some holiday drinks, because I know around the holidays is a time where a lot of people like to try different drink options. The first one is called a couple different names. It's called, people in, some people call it eggnog. In Haiti, it's called cremas. In Latin America, they call it coquito. So do you guys have a name for this drink? Where it's like a creamy kind of drink with cinnamon, nutmeg, sometimes a little bit of ginger. Does anybody call it anything different?
I don't know it.
No? Okay.
No, I don't know it. I don't know if others know it. I've seen it, but I don't know what's called. I've never had it.
Okay.
Eggnog. Someone says
eggnog. Yes, eggnog. Mm-hmm. And then the middle is sorrel. Okay.
Oh,
yeah, those are very Caribbean.
Okay. That
Me and Michelle might be cousins. We're talking about all the same food.
I know.
And then sorrel. Has anybody heard of that one in the middle?
Yes, Hajua says sobolo. That's how we call it. I very much
sobolo. Okay.
Yes.
And that's good to know.
Yeah. Love it.
Yes. So that's another holiday drink. A lot of times these are either not with alcohol or with alcohol. It depends on, what type of Christmas or holiday you're having.
Yeah.
If you do the alcohol or not alcohol. But the last one is also a rum punch. So a lot of times when the family comes together, there's different drinks like that are made. So whether it's alcoholic or not, sometimes these drinks are very high in sugar. So that's something you want to be mindful of. And of course, if it does have alcohol, that's something else to be mindful of, because whenever you have alcoholic drinks, sometimes it can cause you to not have enough nutrients that you need, because alcohol depletes our body from different nutrients like B vitamins. Also, I recommend to do dairy-free when possible. So the first drink is usually like a heavy cream kind of drink. So it's made from milk, cow's milk, but if there's any other plant-based milks like coconut milk, almond milk, depending on what type of milk you like, sometimes that could be better for you if milk causes you to feel more inflamed. So if you feel like you're more bloated or anything like that with dairy, then you can try dairy-free versions of some of your favorite drinks. But the main thing that I recommend is to have fun with these drinks. So do more cinnamon, do more ginger, do more nutmeg for some of these drinks, like the sorrel, or as you call it, sobolo. Yes, so do more ginger, nutmeg, and do different spices like that instead of having them very sweet, because that way you can bring down your sugar intake. And also hydrate. Okay, Zobo in Nigeria, thank you.
Yeah, it's made of hibiscus, yeah.
Yes. And again, it keeps coming back to what we talked about earlier, how we're all doing the same things, but calling them different names.
Different names, yes. So I just say there's a Ghanaian drink with milk and millet. I think I know that drink. It's in Ghana, it's called Burkina. I don't know why it's called.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I'm sure that's the same as like the cremas and all the
Possibly.
other eggnogs and everything like that.
Possibly.
We're just calling them different things.
Yeah.
And also hydrate. So during the holidays, sometimes we're busy, we're moving around, we're traveling. Make sure you have water. So try to have water throughout the day, in the morning when you wake up, with every meal, and then also at night before bed. And if you are drinking any of these drinks that are high in sugar or that contain alcohol, make sure you drink even more water, because that's going to dehydrate you having anything with sugar or with alcohol. So some things to be mindful of is just to learn about our portion size, like we talked about, using our hands and also using our plate to make sure half of our plate or close to it is vegetables. And also to know how much protein and how much rice we're having. I'm not the dietitian that's going to say rice is bad for you and starches are bad, because that's not what I believe. We need that. Just so you know, our brain needs starches. So without carbohydrates like rice, breads, yam, and without those different carbohydrates, our brain cannot function. So that shows you how important they are. It's just we don't need to have too much of them, just like we don't need too much of anything else. So it's important to know our portion sizes and find out what we're eating and how we can build healthy plates with our holiday and cultural foods. And also take pride in your foods. So tell somebody about foods that you like. And I know I can tell you, I enjoyed so much learning about the different foods you all told me about today. Foods that I haven't heard before, or foods that I call by a different name. And share the stories with your coworkers, with friends, with family members. Share the stories of your food, because that's so important for us to share those stories about our culture and the foods that we like and enjoy. And here's some more resources, so that way if you wanted to look up more about your foods, Old Ways is a great resource. And Old Ways shows you different recipes and shows you a lot of foods from different cultures throughout the world. And also our website, it's under construction right now, but we do post a lot of recipes from all around the world, because we are the experts of learning. That's what I like to say. So we never claim to know everything about every single food, but we love to learn about foods from all throughout the world. So again, if there's any foods you want to add to our presentation that you feel that I left off, please send us an email and let me know, and I'll make sure to include foods from your culture there too. So here's some resources. And just want to thank you all for your time. And I hope this was helpful for you. And I want you to go into the holiday with confidence, knowing that this is not a cheat meal, or you're not just going crazy and eating whatever you want. No, we're going to stick to our plate. Half of our plate, fruits and veggies, the other half, grains and protein. And make sure you include all of your favorite foods on there too. Any questions for me?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Ashley. That was really insightful. I really enjoyed your presentation. So we still have 15 minutes. Yabo says an interesting presentation. You are bringing out the goodness in our food. Yes, I really like to talk about our food with so much pride, so thank you so much. Anyone has any burning questions? Well, people are happy, so thank you. So informative. So you're getting.
Thank you.
Can I just ask out of the blue? So what are we preparing on? Actually, maybe you can share yours on Christmas Day. What are you preparing?
Well, my family, we have a tradition where we all cook together. So everyone has like their dish. And so I typically make the collard greens. So, the green leafy veggies. So we have our collard greens, and I also do sweet potato or yam. And that's something I typically make too. So, but from the family, we don't eat most meats. We just do seafood sometimes. So we're also going to have a whole fish because that's like one of those staples, a whole fish. We usually have snapper, and then also some rice as well, and different types of potatoes too. What's on your menu?
Myself, I'm not very, very, so I stick to my delicious Ghanaian jollof rice because it's #1 in the world. So every festive season, there has to be jollof rice, some chicken. Okay, yeah. Just the usual Ghanaian stuff. I stick a lot with Ghanaian food. So it might just be that. If I do have some friends coming around, maybe they might also come with some stuff, but Yeah, I don't usually do any traditional Christmas dish.
Okay.
Yeah. Others want to share? Anyone wants to tell us what they're planning to cook this Christmas? Anything exciting you're planning to do? You can just write in the chat box. Oh, okay. So these are some of the resources Ashley has shared with us. Yes. I was going to say, definitely going to have you again in the new year. I really enjoyed this presentation.
Thank you.
I'm going to invite you again, especially that project you guys are doing with cooking, the virtual, growing of foods, something that I might get in touch and see if we can plan something. We might all learn how to do that virtually. I just say she's going to cook banku and okra soup. Yes. Ooh. And then someone says yam, suya, lamb leg with veggies and sauce and dessert. I like that.
Can we do this in person next time? I'll just come. I'll book my flight.
You book your flight and come and join them. Thank you for sharing those. Thank you. So yes, like Ashley said, we don't have to change and that's what we do on these sessions. The whole idea is to talk about healthy foods within our community. We are tailoring the nutrition advice to our culture, but that doesn't mean changing our foods. We do know that our foods are healthy, but it's how we eat it. Yes, no, Shannon, most times we'll wait to friends, not sure what I'll say. Yes. People, you're waiting for people to cook and invite you. I'm doing the same. Yeah, I'm doing the same.
Yes. Good.
Right. So yeah, but we've learned that we can stick with our favorite cultural foods. We don't have to go on and do what's the British Christmas dishes, the turkey, and what do they have with the turkey? I honestly, I don't really enjoy that, but that's just me personally, So at work, we have all these Christmas dinners and I struggle with it, So I always like to stick with my Ghanaian foods. Yes, please. Please send the link details because I cannot copy. Okay, how can we send this? So actually, usually we ask for a copy of your slides. So if you could put a link there. So we are going to share the slides with CAHN. And so please, if you can just contact CAHN, and if Shekinah, can you put the email address in there so that people can have access to the slides and the resources as well? Since you cannot, I'm not sure why you can't have access to the link she shared, but you will have access to the slides and hopefully, yes. So that's the email address. Just drop them an email and I'm going to, hopefully if you send it to me today, I'll send it to CAHN. And then tomorrow people can get access to the slides and the resources as well. Yeah. Perfect. People have loved it, so they want to follow up and see what else you guys are doing. I think you guys are doing an amazing job. I struggle with foreign Xmas dinner, so I'm not alone. I struggle, but because you have to, you're at work and you have to go, so you try and eat a bit, but nah, it's not for me. So I'm going to stick with what Ashley has said. Just eat my food.
Yes, stick to your food and just learn what's a starch, protein, and vegetable, and then find a way to put on your plate, and you're good.
Yeah.
Yes, and I can tell you, being a dietitian, whenever I go to any dinner, everyone's like, "What is she gonna eat?" And I always tell them, "I'm going to eat what you're going to eat too. Like we're eating the same foods. It's just I'm learning how to put things on my plate in a way that's going to, feel better and serve me. But we're eating the same foods."
Yeah. So when earlier on someone put in a chat box that it's really difficult to have half of the plate being vegetables. Again, from the way we've grown up, and you said it yourself, you said that growing up, it was like half of the plate had to be starch. I say 3/4 from where I'm coming from. It wasn't even half. It was actually 3/4 with this small piece of protein and then vegetables to decorate the plates, So when you ask people to cut down on the starches, the first thing that comes to mind is that I'm not going to get full. Because you're not thinking about increasing the vegetables, and these vegetables have fiber. So if you increase the vegetables, it keeps you full for long, but we will get there. Yeah. Definitely. Work in progress. Like you said, just start, just have one.
Just start.
Add a bit to it. Just start from somewhere. Add a bit to it. And then just keep adding. Yeah.
Yep. That's what I focus on, adding. because whenever you think about taking away rice, it's like, ooh, like you said, I'm still going to be hungry.
Yes.
But if we naturally add more vegetables, you're going to have to decrease something so I can fit on the plate.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And I've had people that I've worked with who have said that this is a strategy they've used. They start with the vegetables because otherwise then they're not. If I start with the rice, as someone's quote, then I'm not going to be full. So they start with the vegetables and make sure that keeps them full. To a certain extent, then they're able to cut down on the starches. So whatever works for you, just try it and then make sure you're having some vegetables. Definitely. Okay. It looks like we don't have any more questions, even comments anymore. It's all about thank you. So I think on this note, I think we'll draw the curtains. And then, Ashley, do you have any final words you want to say before I conclude the first part of the talk?
No, just you all have a happy holiday and stay in contact. Again, we're on Instagram and other social medias like Facebook and Twitter. So just follow us and keep the conversation going. And whenever you cook your holiday foods or you eat your holiday foods, take a picture and send us a copy of that plate so that way we can post it on our site to show how your foods are healthy.
Thank you. We sure will do that. I'll do that. When I get invited to people's homes, I'll share my foods with you. Thank you so much. Yes. People have started following you already, so expect to get a few more following. Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay. So, has anyone ever told you look like, I can't, who is that in there? I don't know who that is. Do you see there's a comment in there?
No, I have not heard that before, but I'm going to look her up.
Maybe a cousin from another mother if the person is Caribbean.
I do look like her.
Oh, you've seen the picture? Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a gospel singer. When you first came, I was like, yeah, she looks exactly like her.
Is she Caribbean? Oh, you won't know.
No.
You should go and look for her, just Ashley.
Oh my goodness. I've heard her songs before, but I never knew what she looked like.
Well.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, so
I can't sing like her though, but
thanks, Ashley. Yes.
Okay,
thank you, Michelle, for joining. Thank you so much. Yes, before I introduce our next session, I'd just like to say thank you, Ashley. I'll be in touch afterwards. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So I'd like to thank you. I'd like to use this opportunity to say a big thank you to everyone who joined. This would be our last session for the year. I was going to have a last one next week. Unfortunately, the speaker is unwell, and so I'm not going to be, and I'm not feeling too great myself, so I won't be able to join you next week. I don't know if Orlando is going to go ahead and have the exercise session, but I just wanted to use this as an opportunity to thank everyone for joining us over the last months, after the intervention we had, for the engagement, for all the support. And we really do hope that the information we're sharing is making some impact in your life. Moving on, I would really, really like to hear your thoughts, would want your suggestions on what you would want to hear from us. We've done a lot of nutrition education. What else do people want to hear? CAHN is listening. What exactly do you want from CAHN? What should we do? Should we run another intervention like what we did? Please do send your suggestions to the email address that was dropped in there, so health@cahn.org.uk, because it'll be really helpful to know what people are thinking and what people are suggesting for next year. Because I would really want to hear people's thoughts so that whatever we do helps everyone. We don't want it to just be a few people suggesting topics. What would you find useful in the coming year so we can plan around those? Yeah. Thank you so much. I hope you have a happy holiday and have some rest as we prepare for the next year. On this note, I'm going to introduce Orlando. Orlando, I've given you 3 minutes. Yes, thank you for putting up this program. I've learned a lot. Thank you so much for joining as well. Yeah. So Orlando, are you ready? Today you have 2 minutes. Usually I take a minute or two from your time. Today I'm giving you 2 minutes. So if you are here, I'd like to hand this over to you. No, I don't see Orlando. Oh, yes. Okay. So let's put a spotlight on you.
I'm going live straight away. All right, people.
Okay.
Thanks, Dr. Hibbah.
Thank you, Orlando.
Yeah, and thank you, Ashley, for that amazing talk as well. So welcome to tonight's session, people. We are going into a upper body circuit. We have 8 rounds of 60 seconds to get through, broken down into 2 4 exercise rounds. All right, so let's start off with our warm-up. Let me get my tunes ready. There we go. So we're gonna start off with a shadow skip for 30 seconds. Okay, a shadow skip for 30 seconds. All right, people, get to your spaces. Make sure you have a mat and plenty of water handy. Got a shadow skip, get ready. 3, 2, 1. Let's shadow skip, everybody. Three, 2, 1. Let's go. Swan reach. Touch the floor. Touch the ceiling. Go, people. 3, 2, 1. Let's go to heel flicks. Go, people. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And rest for 15 seconds. Catch your breath. Okay, get ready, back in now. So next move, we've got aerobic sergeants. So we'll go side to side. Okay, get ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. Keep that going, people. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Next move. Lunge and twist. Alternate legs. Let's go. Down, twist both sides. Keep that going. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. We're going to lunge backwards. We've got arms nice and tall in the air. Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Down. Up. Lunge back. Up. Keep that going, people. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Last move. Shadow skipping. 30 seconds. Keep that going, people. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Now rest, people. 20 seconds rest. Then we'll go straight into round 1. All right, people, bring your mats in now, or your cushions, or whatever you have. Okay, so round 1. Remember, we're hitting the upper body today. So first 2 moves. All right, we've got a lie down push-up with an arm out. All right, so watch this. You can either go knees down or knees up. It's up to you. All right, so go down into your push-up. Arms out, arms back in, push up. Watch again. Down into your push-up, lie flat, arms out, back into your push-up. Same with the knees, knees down. So hips and shoulders are going down at the same time, like so. Lie flat, arms out, arms back in, push back up with the knees to support. All right, from there, we've got kneeling arm circles. Okay, so we're not going to be down here. We're going to be up. We've got the bum squeezed nice and tight. We've got the core engaged. I'm going to go arm circles backwards. All right, keeping them shoulders nice and engaged. All right, so from lie down press ups to kneeling arm circles. Those are your first 2 moves, people. Let's get ready now. Let's get ready now. Go down to your mats. Down to your mats. Let's get ready. All right, let's start off with the push-ups. Get ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's go, people. Keep that going, people. Come on. Halfway. Last 15 seconds. Last 10. Three, 2, 1. And rest, people. Stay down on your mats. 20-second rest. And then we're going straight into arm circles. Remember, keep those shoulders nice and high as you kneel. And we're going backwards. Keeping those shoulders nice and engaged. Get ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Keep that bum nice and tight. Keep that going, people. So collective. Halfway, people. 30 seconds gone. 30 seconds left. Last 15 seconds. Three, 2, 1. Okay, 20-second rest. 2 down, 2 to go. So listen in while you rest. Listen in while you rest. Okay, next move. Go back to back shoulders. So again, we're staying kneeled. bum squeezed, core engaged. And while your shoulders are burning, we're going to do flappy birds. So going up and down whilst those shoulders are burning. 60 seconds. From there, we've got dorsal raises. So we're going to be flat like so. Neck up. We're going to contract like so. So raising up with the upper back, hands on the head, and coming up here. Working that upper back and lower back, all right? So from flappy birds to dorsal raises, get ready, people. Start with your flappy birds in 3, 2, 1, go. Keep that going, people. Embrace that burn. Let's go. 20 seconds to go. Last 15. 3, 2, 1. Take your 20-second break. Stay on your mats. Dorsal raises in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Keep that going, people. Halfway now, keep that going. Last 15 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time, people. Well done. Take a well-deserved 30-second break. Get those deep breaths in. Take on some water. Round number 2 coming up. 15 seconds. All right, people. Round number 2 coming your way. So let's go through the first 2 moves. So first move, we have Superman reach out. So we're going to be lying flat here. We're working the upper back, the shoulders, and the triceps. So we're here. From here, we've got our head up, creating that tension, and we're going back and forward. All right, back, forward, and back. All right, nice and strong. From there, we've got forearm plank. So we're going to pop up our hips, boom. Head nice and flat, bum nice and tense, and hold 60 seconds. So going from here, out and back, head up to keep that back nice and tense. And then from there, we have forearm plank. All right, people, let's go. First 2 moves, let's go. Let's work out, turn these tunes up. Okay, to your mats, people, get ready. 3, 2, 1. 1, go. Fly. Keep that going, people. Halfway. Let's work it now. Seconds left, people. Keep working. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Stay with your mats. 20-second break.
S-spring on the track.
Get ready, people. We're going again in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Stay nice and strong, nice and flat. Don't go up here, not too flat here. Nice and level. And hold. Last 20 seconds. Oh.
S-spring on the track.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. 2 down. 2 to go. Just put your mats to the side for now. We'll need them again shortly. To your feet. Okay, so next 2 moves, people, to finish the round. So first move, we're going to be here. Nice athletic stance. Palms facing away from you. And we've got back squeezes. There, squeeze. Ready to try and bring those shoulder blades together. So watch here. There, squeeze. Squeeze. And then from there, if you've got anything lying around the house, dumbbells or kettlebells, grab them. You've got 10 seconds. From there, we're going to go here. So dumbbell raise, dumbbell push. Bring it back down. Watch from this side. So curl, push, back down. Curl, push, back down. All right, people. Let's get ready. Last 2 moves now. Last 2 moves. So let's start with the back squeezes. Get ready in 3, 2, 1, go. Keep that going, people.
Tomorrow.
30 seconds. Yeah, tough one. 10 seconds. Remember next, we've got curl to press to finish off the round. Five, 4, 3, 2, back in your athletic stance, curl, press. Keep going, people.
Speak tomorrow.
20 seconds left. Five, four, three, two, one, and time. Got 30-second water break. And then we're going into our endurance round.
Speak tomorrow.
All right, people. So we're going to go into our bonus rounds now, our conditioning rounds. And to start off with, we're going to do press up hold. And we've got 3 sets of 30 seconds. So watch me here. So the first 2, we're going to do with our knees up, if you can. So come in this angle here. So we're going to be here. So elbows slightly bent, bum up, core engaged. And we're going to hold for 30, nice and strong. If you feel tired, come down for a second, shake it off, boom, bend those elbows again. All right, so first 2 sets, let's try them with our knees up. All right, so muscle conditioning, the chest, shoulders, triceps. We've got 3 sets of 30 seconds. So back down to your mats, people. Let's start this bonus round. Let's get ready. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Go. Oh, keep that bum nice and engaged. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. 10 seconds left to rest. Go back in. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Keep that stomach engaged. Don't go high. Keep it nice and level. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down. So last set here, we'll do on the knees. Get yourself ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the knees like that. Last 10. 3, 2, 1, and up, relax, relax. Okay, mats to the side.
You should be vibing.
Okay, people, so last one. We've got tricep dip holds. Just 2 sets of 30 seconds to finish. See the camera, you can see me here. Use your couch or a chair. So we're gonna be here. And again, elbows slightly bent and hold 30 seconds. Okay? So only 2 sets to finish. 2 sets of 30 seconds. Get yourself ready, people. So get to your chair or sofa. Let's get ready now. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Hold. Got it. Got it. Last 10. Relax. Last one coming up. Ten seconds. Let's get ready. 3, 2, 1. Bend those elbows and hold. Last 10. 2, 1. On time, people. Relax. Okay, take a 20-second water break. Get your composure back, and then we will stretch off. Well done. All right, people. Great upper body session tonight. So thank you for following at home. Let's start off with our necks. Let's go neck side to side. Head to shoulder with a reach over. So drop down, reach over. Nice and wide. Change. Okay, clasp your fingers together. Push down. Try and drive your shoulders right down to the floor. Okay, same behind the back, clasp, turn them over, palms face the floor, push right down. Okay, arm circles, start on either side, going forward. Arm backwards. arms. Backwards. Okay, arms nice and tall. Touch the ceiling. Okay, arm by the chest. Pull beside the elbow nice and tight. Okay, same arm behind the head. Pull down at the elbow. Change arms. Same arm behind the head. Last one. So turn your fingers towards yourself. Bend down. Try and get your palms to the floor. Hold. Stretch the forearms out, the biceps. Hold. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to your feet. Standing up. Shake it all off. Last time, people. Well done. Very well done. Daniel around. Shekinah.
Yes, I'm here, Orlando. Thank you so much for that energizing session. Yeah, thank you so much. If anyone has any comments on how they found it, you can always use the chat box to do that as well. And thank you again to Dr. Hibbah and Ashley for sharing that information previously in our talk before. So as Dr. Hibbah mentioned, this is our last Healthy Heart session for the year 2022. So we will see you again in 2023. But before that, Orlando, any last words to everybody?
Yeah, thank you for everybody's hard work over the year. I hope you've enjoyed the sessions and you've seen changes both physically and mentally. And just be ready for next year. We're going to take it up a notch. We've got some new disciplines coming your way by way of Pilates and yoga. And then with that, we've got our traditional 4, should we say, got the boxing and circuits and like splitting the body parts as well. So yeah, just stay tuned for next year. And again, thank you everybody for your hard work.
Nice. Thank you so much, Orlando. And thanks, like you said, thanks to everyone who keeps joining our sessions. And we will see you in the new year. Have a happy Christmas and a new year in advance. Bye, everyone.
Have a great
Take
Christmas,
care.
people. Happy New Year. See you all in the new year. Be ready.
Bye.
Peace.